Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube video. Today it's gonna be a update video. I've got a bunch of updates for it, along with a few new items I just got in. So I hope you guys enjoy and a happy holidays to everybody. And I hope you're having an awesome Christmas because it's literally only a week or two away. So anyway, let's get to it. First things first is those who remember, I sent a Bowie knife blade to a friend of mine named Kevin, and he has his own YouTube channel. And I sent this to him, I think, over a month ago. And to be honest, I had forgotten about it. And he actually just sent it back to me. And man, this thing is gorgeous. Y'all see that leather work. He does all of this himself, and he did this for me. And this is gorgeous. I love how this thing turned out. This is going to be my new camp knife. Let me show you all the blade. And at first, I didn't recognize this knife because that's how well he did it until I recognized the shape of the blade. This blade I brought back with me from D Queen. It's a German Bowie knife blade. And man, he did an awesome job. I love the leather handle. It kind of gives me a nice old military vibe. And I love the weight. It's weighted perfectly. I mean, it is awesome. I cannot wait to put this to the test. Y'all make sure to thank Kevin in the comments because he did a gorgeous job on this. He said he didn't finish it, but in my opinion, it looks awesome. And I love the nice raw aluminum look to it. Because, I mean, really, a Bowie knife like this doesn't need to be pretty. As long as it can come to work, I think it's awesome. So y'all thank him in the comments. Next is on some of the items I took with me to D Queen. Hide this so y'all can see it. Those who remember, I found this candlestick holder while I was in D Queen, and I said I was going to make a very beautiful knife out of it, and I did. So here she is. The fanciest Bowie knife I have ever produced. I made this sheath out of 2 thick pieces of leather, well, 3 for the one that helps keep it in the sheath, that I got from a friend of mine. And here's the beauty herself. Check that out. Made from an old wood rasp. So it's got a nice thick blade on it. Made a brass guard for it. And the tang goes all the way to right here. And the whole thing's been filled with liquid metal or silver solder, same thing. And I put a bolt on the end just to help seal that in. And I love the weight of it. I mean, I did not smooth this out. This is how it came when I got it. Beautiful. And I am going to keep this, but if the right offer was offered, I would consider selling it. But if I was to put this for sale right now, I would ask a minimum of $350. Because to me, it's well worth that. Again, just look at that gorgeous Bowie knife. This puts sorry about that, Crocodile Dundee's Bowie to shame. This is as Arkansas as you can get. Just a classic ornate Bowie knife with a beautiful sheath. And this isn't the largest knife I've made, but it's definitely one of the prettiest ones I've made. Okay. Next is some of the other ones I made. This one's made out of another candlestick holder I brought back with me. The blade is an old German blade that was cut from another blade that I don't know what it went to. I think it was an old bayonet. And this one turned out really nice. Again, same thing, made a tang that goes all the way to right here and filled the rest of the gaps with liquid silver solder and let it harden, permanently locking it in the handle. And I sharpened one side and gave it a edge right here. And it's really comfortable in the hand. And I even put a piece of brass right here so that way it seals it up. This one will definitely be for sale once I can get a leather sheath made for it. And then this is another one I haven't finished yet. This one, the blade I made out of an old file, and the guard I made out of aluminum. And this is another candlestick that was the brother to this one. And this one I chopped it a little shorter, so that way it's more of a boot knife. And I gave it a file, so that way it's a really thick blade. That's going to turn out really nice. This is another one I finished when I got back. I brought back a couple of butter knives with me. I removed the handle and put my own blade in it. Repurposed one of the blades I got from my friend JR. And repurposed a guard made out of aluminum. And filled the whole handle with liquid metal. This one will definitely be put for sale once I get a sheath for it. And then this is another butter knife that came with me from D Queen, and a blade that I brought back with me from D Queen, and I combined them together. Beautiful. And then here's another one, again with a butter knife I brought back with me, and one of the blades I got from my good friend JR. Beautiful. Look forward to putting that for sale. And this is the Remington knife that I got to keep out of that lot from JR, and I made my own leather handle for it. I repurposed a lot of the leather that I brought back with me from D Queen. Again, I'm not going to try to make this knife look new, but I at least want it brought back to a collectible condition, and I did that. I copied the handle the best I could, gave it a nice thick pommel like it would have had, and gave it 2 red spacers on each end like it would have had originally. And this is a model RH PAL 36. Again, came out really nice. Sadly, I don't have the original sheath. This is just a sheath I had lying around that fits it perfectly. And then this is the original Remington I had in my collection. You can see this one's in a lot worse shape, but it has the original handle. This is a starter's piece for somebody's collection if they just want a beautiful old knife that's all original. This one I'm going to be putting on eBay, not for very much. And I even made a sheath for it, so that way it can be carried if the person who owns it wants to carry it. Okay. Next, this is one of the knives I got from JR that I fixed up. It had a very large guard going all the way out to right here. I shortened it and brought the edges back down and gave it a boot knife look. Love how that turned out. And next, this is the knife I brought back with me from D Queen. Didn't do much to it. I cleaned up the blade, polished it up, and sharpened it up, made it look a lot nicer. Other than that, I'm just leaving it like it is because I love the shape of it. Let's see. Next, this is another one of the knives I got from JR. This is a Utica Sportsman that I fixed up. Gave it a beautiful cherry wood handle, an aluminum guard, and copper pins. And I even made a replica sheath, tried my best to copy the original. This one will be put for sale as well. Again, it's a decent starter for somebody's collection, or if somebody just wants to buy this to use, because these hold a really nice edge, they can always do that too. Beautiful. Next is the Utica Sportsman I'm keeping that came from JR's lot. This one I put some new plastic handles on it, used copper pins, and reused one of the guards from one of the knives that was the same design. This one I'm keeping for myself because I don't have one of these. So thank you very much, JR. Next is one of the pocket knives. If I recall, I got this from my good friend Larry. He gave this to me in a lot of a couple. And this one was the nicest of the bunch. This is a Schrade Model 80T in really good shape. The only thing I did to it was I replaced the pin right here because it was broken. And I replaced it with a steel one so that way it doesn't break again. And I polished all the parts and put it all back together. Beautiful. Looks almost like a Buck 301. And it holds a marvelous edge. These old timers always hold a good edge. And this one came in the same lot. This is a little doctor's knife. Normally, I would just get rid of this, but I love the design. It's a Frost Cutlery. Claims to be made in Germany, which I'm pretty sure it's not. Love the handles, and I love the design, so I just cleaned it up and decided to keep it. Beautiful. That came out really nice. Next. Oh, yeah. Next is this one I brought back with me from D Queen. This is a straight razor I brought back with me that had this end tied, and I fixed that and pinned it back together. And I repinned it and cleaned up the blade, brought it all back to a good condition. Sadly, the nickel plating is chipped off right there, and I can't fix that without completely replating it, and I don't have the stuff to do that. And this one is a... see if I can read the name, and sorry if I butcher it. It says Bliss, Maze, and something. So I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. HWE Co. That's going to look great in my collection. I love that one. That one I'm keeping. Next is... this is one of the hatchets I got from JR. This is the one I kept. I love the squared off version of this. The other two I actually sold. I actually gave one to my dad and sold one. And this is the other one I have that I'm keeping. Again, same plastic that I used on the smaller one. Nice. And then this is just a small lot of knives I just got in from a lot that we got. All these I'm going to probably sell as a bundle because a lot of these ain't really worth anything. I mean, you got a couple of nice American ones, but they're not worth a whole lot of money. But they're great for somebody's collection. And you got a couple of Chinese ones. Put that up. These a friend of mine's coming to look at and see if he wants them. I won't charge very much. Next is this one. This is another blade that JR gave me. And I stuck it in this handle and had this S-guard. Definitely a wicked looking knife. That one I'm definitely keeping. Okay, getting into the last ones. Oh yeah, next is a couple of the creations I've created. First is this monster I made. I call this the Q-tip from hell. And I found these spike-looking things on a garden tool that I found at the dump. Don't know what they went to. But when I saw them, I knew they would make a great weapon. So that's what I did. I fashioned them on this steel pole. That was an old microphone pole, hence why it's got the nut on the end. And wrapped them around with aluminum wire. And then wrapped this with electrical tape and with some paracord that I had lying around. Pretty nasty looking weapon. That definitely looks like something that would be in a zombie apocalypse movie. And then I also made another one of these, a large hay hook. This one I took a little bit of a different design. I shaved the front end down to a spear point and gave it a more of a curve to it. And this one's definitely a lot larger than the ones I've made so far. Handle I made out of an old broom handle with a bolt on the end and a pin going through it to connect the handle on more. Definitely a mean looking hook. And last but not least is another one of my favorite creations. I made another one of these. And this one I used a railroad spike for the handle, a aluminum horseshoe for the guard, and a machete for the blade. And this machete I think I bought at a flea market and I just had it in my shop. And I like making weird, unique things you could just assemble on the fly. Again, this kind of looks like something you could just throw together at a junkyard and be like, hey, now I got a functioning weapon. And I love the weight of it. It's definitely not heavy. It's not too light. It's definitely nice and weighted right. And I took all the rust off and clear coated the whole thing. Kind of gives it that nice used look. And the spike could double as a skull crusher. Definitely a mean looking weapon. Alrighty, that is all the stuff I've got to update so far. Thank you to all my friends that helped contribute to this bundle, and thank you to my buddy Kevin for sending me back my Bowie knife, and it looks awesome, my friend. I cannot wait to try it out. And hope y'all have a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys enjoy. And as always, stay sharp. Keep collecting.